AC/DC, TNT. My name is Stuart. Welcome to Guitar Lessons with Stuart. I'm playing an AC/DC song. I should probably be using an electric guitar, but I'm using an acoustic guitar. But I did put a hoodie on. That's pretty rock and roll, right? Yeah. But if we're being honest, the way that Malcolm Young, the rhythm guitarist for AC/DC, plays this song, I think, pardon my really dorky language here, but I think it rocks just as hard on acoustic guitar as it does on electric guitar. But that's just me. First of all, let me just get this out of the way. This is not an easy song. It sounds easy, but there's some unique stylistic things that are tough to do. If you just want to play TNT, you want it to be easy, let me show you an easy version right now. Check it out. Here's what it is. Top string open. Go to the 3rd fret, then using a different finger, go to the 5th fret. So now we've got 0, 3, 5, and then we're gonna go 3, 5, 3, just like that. 3, 5, 3, using 2 different fingers. I'm using pointer and ring. So now we've got 0, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, start over. There's the easy version. Now, if you're here because you don't want to mess around, you want to learn some authentic, real deal AC/DC rhythm guitar technique, stick around. We're going to do it right now. There's no breaks, so we're just going to jump right into it. This song only has 3 chords in it, an E, a G, and an A, but they're not like big old E, G, and A. They're 5 chords, E5, G5, and A5. There's another name for 5 chords. Who knows what the other name is? That's right, power chords. Power chords, you've heard tales of power chords, but wait a minute. I thought power chords looked like this. Like that shape right there. That's what my friend told me. Is that power chords are like that. So what's all this stuff you're doing? AC/DC has a pretty unique way of playing power chords. We're going to call them open power chords. They're power chords that use open strings when possible. Check this out. First power chord, E power chord. Top string is open. Pointer finger is on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string from the top. I'm laying my pointer finger kind of flat. I'm also hitting the 3rd string from the top on the 2nd fret. So take a good look right there. Pointer finger's just laying flat on those strings right there. Now where it gets interesting is when I get down to the G string, it's muted. I've got my finger at this angle. So while I'm pushing really firmly on the A and D strings, the G string is muted. Let's see what the B string is doing. B string is there, then the high E is muted. So if I play all the strings, I'm really just hearing top string, 2nd string, 3rd string, and then a little bit of the 5th string maybe. So the only notes we have there are an E and a B. So there's no 3rd. So for those of you who know about thirds and other notes in a chord, we have no 3rd here, which means it's not a major chord, it's not a minor chord, it's just the bare skeleton of some type of E chord. It's an E5 chord. Malcolm Young, rhythm guitarist. Angus Young, the lead guitarist from AC/DC, he's great. He's great. He's got his whole thing going on. I love it. Malcolm Young, the rhythm guitarist, he didn't do anything flashy ever, but he would play the heck out of a riff, and he would play with a lot of intensity. I personally find myself way more drawn to Malcolm Young than Angus, but that's just me. Whatever floats your boat is that thing to you. E5 chord. It's hard to get your finger in this position, but you can see I've got this knuckle is really bent, but this part of my finger is just totally flat, smashing down on the A and D strings. There we go. All right. So he plays that chord, and then he just chops off the sound. The way I do it, I just flap these fingers down onto the strings, and I just hit the strings over here. I just cut off the sound completely. Next chord is a G5 chord. How do you play a G5? Good question. Why that? What's next? A G chord, a G5 to be exact. So here's how we do that. This one's great. This one's great. Middle finger, 3rd fret, up on the top string, just like we're doing a normal G. But then your what finger is that? Your middle finger, the middlest of all fingers, plays a 3rd fret on the top string, but then mutes the next string. So the way I'm doing that, I just have this tiny little arch to my finger so that I can push on the top, and then the flesh of my finger just touches the A string and mutes it. The D string, the 3rd one from the top, is open. The curve of my finger hits the A and then is clear of the D string. Go down to the G string, also open. Ring finger gets involved here. Ring finger is going to play the 3rd fret on the B string. That is the same note that the ring finger plays when we play the big old regular G. So, middle finger up on top, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Ring finger also is muting the high E string. A lot of muting going on here. That's kind of the main reason why I said this song is not easy, is because your fingers are multitasking. They're playing notes and muting a bunch of strings, and we need to be in control of that. This G5 chord should sound like this. From the top, got those 2 muted notes in there. So let's do this now. E chord, E5, going to the G. So check out how when I'm playing the E5 chord, my middle finger and ring finger are actually in the shape of the G5 chord, ready to just lever down, hinge down, and hit those notes. We add some rhythm to this. We've got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's do it again. 1, 2, karate chop. All right, that takes us to the 3rd and final chord that is in this song, the A5 chord. A5 chord is very similar to our E5 chord, but instead of pushing on the A string and the D string, we're going to move this finger down so it's pushing on the D string and the G string. So that's the tip of my pointer finger. It's on the 2nd fret of the D string. Then I'm smashing down to also play the 2nd fret on the G string with my pointer finger. So now we've got the open A, 2nd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, and then if everything is going according to plan, the B string is going to be muted. Yep, and I think the high E string is going to be muted as well. Yeah, but we have one big problem here, which is if we play this chord as hard as Malcolm Young plays it, it's going to sound like this. That actually sounded pretty great. But we've got this big open E string that's just going to overpower everything, especially if I was playing an electric guitar through an overdriven amp. That note is just going to take over the entire song. So we're going to get the thumb involved. The thumb is going to come wrap around the top. We do not want to push on the low E string. You just want to touch the low E string. So look at this. We're going to get a close-up. See my thumb? Just the flesh of my thumb is just getting smooshed down and is touching the top string. Very important you don't wrap it all around and grab it, because then you're going to end up with something else entirely. So the way I think of it is I feel like I'm just pushing directly on the top with my thumb, and then the little fleshy part of my thumb just smashes down and pushes on the side of the top string. There's our E5 chord. Those are the 3 chords in the song. Let's try doing this. Let's go. E, G, A. You ready? 1, 2, nice and slow. E, 2, 3, G, A. Let's do it again. E, G, A. And one more time. I'm not sure if you noticed, I kind of did one of these. Found a little piece of food in my teeth. Let's hope it hasn't been visible in the video from the very beginning. So how are you going to practice this rhythm? I could tell you to tap your foot and use a metronome and count out the rhythms. And you should, that would be great. But also, if you're not used to doing that, if you're not familiar with how to do that, that stuff, all it does is confuses you. So instead, here's how you do it. You put on a recording of the song, you listen to it, and you try to play along. You listen to it, try to play along. Listen, try to play along. I actually have a video in the works that's 5 tips for practicing rhythm. It's not done yet. Actually, you know, if you're watching this 2 months from now, it is done. So, joke's on you. Let's learn the rest of the song. Here's the coolest part. They do this thing right here. So here's what's happening. I'm reaching up as if I'm going to play the G5 chord again, but I'm not going to play the full G5 chord. I'm just going to play the 3rd fret on the top string and then immediately jump back to the A5 chord. Check it out. 2, 3, G. Oh, I get it. 1, 2, here we go. That part. Most of the work there, I think, is actually going on with my pick. I'm just hit that top string hard and then shoot back down that A5. My thumb is doing some big work here because I'm playing that A5 chord hard and my thumb wasn't there. We'd be getting a lot of that top string. But wait a minute, when I play this 3rd fret on the top string, isn't my thumb in the way? No! Because whatever finger or thumb or whatever fret is furthest to your right, that's the one that's going to win. That was a weird way of saying that. What I mean is, if I'm pushing on the 3rd fret, anything that's happening behind the 3rd fret doesn't make any difference. If my thumb was over here, that would change the story. But it's not. It's behind my finger, so you can just keep your thumb parked there for this whole part. Oh, I just let the next part in. Look at this. After you go, you're just going to jump right back to that 3rd fret on the top string. Play just the top string, but this time give that note the tiniest little bend. It's like a quarter bend, barely anything. Whole thing goes like this. 1, 2, here we go. So, it's a great riff. Great riff. 1 measure riff. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or is it a 2 measure riff? Oh, who knows? It just feels so short. 1. Oh, it's a 2 measure riff. Who knew? One of the best kept secrets in rock and roll. TNT riff is 2 measures long. Did I say this was TNT? Or did I just say AC/DC? Song called TNT. It's dynamite. All right. Who am I? Where am I? We got to talk about one more little thing. When the song starts, they play this E5 chord right on the beat. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. But then, every other time, that E chord comes right before the beat. It comes on the and of 4. That means the chord is anticipated. You don't really need to know what that means to play the song. Just as you're playing along with the recording, because remember, that's what we said we were going to do, make sure you're really hitting that E5 chord along with them each time. Because it's going to be tempting to wait and play it later, like this. Don't do that. It's wrong, and you'll sound like a fool. We have one more part to this song to learn. And that part is called the chorus. The chorus is so easy, it makes me want to spit. Watch this. Did you tell what that was? Same 3 chords we've already been doing. A, G, E. Again. A, G, E. A, G, E. Now, it does this every chord, 1 strum, right on the beat. There's no fancy weird rhythms. It's just chord, chord, chord. A, G, E. A, G, E. Easy to keep track because you just play a chord every time they say TNT. Very end of the chorus. I think he says, watch me explode. Is that what he says? Watch me is G. Explode is A. Cause I'm TNT. I'm dynamite. TNT. Shim bang bang bang. TNT. I'm a power load. Hey, TNT. Watch me explode. That's the whole song, you guys. Here's how we're going to end the video. I'm going to play the verse riff, the coolest part, 8 times in a row. And since it's a 2-measure riff, that means I'm going to play 16 measures total. It doesn't matter to you at all. I just felt like showing off my math skills. Then I'm going to play the chorus, and then we're going to stop. I recommend you play along with me. I'm going to do it nice and slow so you can hear the rhythm, you can copy what I'm doing, and you can do the thing, and you can simple shot. You can do that, simple dipple da. Here we go. Fat Boy Slim. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause I'm TNT. I messed up. I played 2 G's at the end. But sometimes you make mistakes in life and you learn to live with them.